ఆన్లైన్ క్లాస్
Hello, good morning, dear young minds. Welcome back to biology session. How are you all? Are you preparing well? Good. Had your breakfast, dear students? Very good, very good. Heartily welcome to biology session. In previous session, we have discussed biological classification. Introduction part completed. Okay. Various types of classification systems. Aristotle classification. Just I am recapitulating previous points. All of you listen carefully. Okay. My suggestion: open NCERT book, NCERT textbook, along with the biology notes. Open botany part. Mention today date 19/8/21. Okay. First 2 minutes recapitulation regarding previous session, previous class. Okay. Biology classification. Introduction part completed. Various types of classification systems like two kingdom classification proposed by Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus. Before that, who first proposed the scientific classification method for the first attempt means Aristotle. Aristotle. Tell me, any of you, who is known as father of biology? Aristotle. Very good. And who is known as father of zoology? Same, Aristotle. But who is known as father of botany? Theophrastus. Theophrastus. Right? After that, two kingdom classification. Tell me, anybody who proposed first two kingdom system of classification? Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus. Good. Next, three kingdom system of classification proposed by Ernest Haeckel. Ernest Haeckel. Later, four kingdom classification proposed by Copeland. Copeland. Five kingdom system of classification proposed by Whittaker. R.H. Whittaker. R.H. Whittaker. This whole topic was completed in previous class. And today, one more question. Out of which, whose classification is widely accepted by world several biologists? Question once I repeat. Whose classification was widely accepted by several world biologists? Whittaker's classification. Very good. R.H. Whittaker's classification was widely accepted by several world biologists. Okay, right. I will discuss even box point also completed. Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia, all five kingdoms, their characters. Just comparison of different types of characters in all five kingdoms. That box point topic also completed. I told previously clearly, dear students, after completion of this class, immediately read box point from NCERT. From NCERT. Did you complete? Tell me seriously, how many of you read that box point? How many of you read box point from NCERT? Comparison of Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Bhumika, very good. Okay, good. Vinay Dravid, did you learn box point? Shreya, did you learn box point? Manya, good. Okay. Then combat situation, then topic continuation. Topic continuation. Chlamydomonas, chlorella. Chlamydomonas, chlorella, bacteria, and fungus, fungus example yeast, yeast. This and all unicellular organisms. Chlamydomonas, unicellular organism. Chlorella, unicellular algae. Chlamydomonas, unicellular algae. Chlorella also unicellular algae. Okay. These two are unicellular algae. Algae means what? Lower living plants, lower living non-flowering plants, lower living non-flowering plants that are living in water. Okay. Next, bacteria, a prokaryote, a prokaryote. Bacteria, a prokaryote. Yeast, an eukaryote, an eukaryote, an eukaryote. Chlamydomonas, chlorella, these two are unicellular algae. Bacteria, a prokaryote. What is prokaryote? A cell without nuclear envelope is called prokaryote. Such organisms are called prokaryotic organisms. Clear? Next, fungus. Fungus example, yeast. Yeast, one of the unicellular fungi. Unicellular fungi. Okay. Their body made up of only single cell. Hence, yeast also called unicellular fungi. It is an eukaryote. According to Linnaeus classification, these all organisms collectively grouped under kingdom fungi, sorry, kingdom plantae, kingdom plantae, according to Linnaeus classification. Linnaeus classification, this all Chlamydomonas, chlorella, bacteria, fungus, all organisms collectively grouped under kingdom plantae. Kingdom plantae. Why? What is the main reason? Means cell wall character. Cell wall character. Cell wall character. Because presence of cell wall is common characteristic feature of Chlamydomonas, chlorella, bacteria, and fungus. Okay. Due to this characteristic feature, Linnaeus, a scientist, Carolus Linnaeus, collectively grouped these all organisms into same kingdom, that is kingdom plantae. But is it correct? Is it correct classification? No, it is not correct classification, because see, Chlamydomonas and chlorella, these two are plants. Bacteria, a prokaryote, a microbe. Lot of difference is there between these organisms. Of course, cell wall is common character, but composition, cell wall chemical composition, again different from species to species. Okay, suppose see, in Chlamydomonas and chlorella, cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cell wall, right? Shortly, cell wall is made of cellulose. Understood? Cell wall is made of cellulose. In bacteria, cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan. Shall I write here? Down. In bacteria, cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan. In fungus, cell wall is made of chitin, etc. See, lot of difference is there, dear students. Observe carefully. In Chlamydomonas and Chlorella, cell wall is made of cellulose. But in bacteria, see, I wrote downside. In bacteria, cell wall is made of peptidoglycan. Similarly, next to fungus. In fungus, cell wall is made of chitin. Therefore, this is not the correct method for classification of organisms. These are the some demerits from Linnaeus classification. Demerits from Linnaeus classification. Understood now? Right? Once I repeat, listen carefully, don't confuse. According to Linnaeus classification, Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, bacteria, and fungus. These all organisms collectively grouped under same kingdom, that is called kingdom Plantae. Why he kept all organisms under kingdom Plantae? The main reason is presence of cell wall character. Presence of cell wall. That's it. But this is not correct classification method. Of course, cell wall is common character. Me also accepting and you also accepting. But cell wall composition, again, different from Chlamydomonas, bacteria, and fungus. That is why this is not correct classification method. Okay, right. Now all of you take one screenshot, do it fast. Then I go with the next page. Each and every student take one screenshot immediately, do it fast. Speed up. Over. Shall I go with the next page? Quick. Yes. Next to but according to R.H. Whittaker, R.H. Whittaker, according to R.H. Whittaker's classification, Chlamydomonas, and Chlorella, these two algae collectively grouped under Protista. Next, the first thing. Next, second thing, bacteria. Bacteria grouped under separate kingdom, that is Monera. Next, yeast. Yeast also collectively grouped under Protista. That is the difference between Linnaeus classification and Whittaker's classification. Very important. I put here star mark. R.H. Whittaker's classification is very, very important. He proposed his classification in the year 1969. 1969. Year also important for objective exams. Okay, yeah. Now I am explaining here differences between Linnaeus classification and Whittaker's classification. According to Linnaeus classification, Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, bacteria, and yeast, these all organisms collectively kept in the same kingdom, that is kingdom Plantae. But according to Whittaker's classification, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella kept in Protista, and bacteria under Monera, and yeast kept in Protista. Because yeast, Chlorella, and Chlamydomonas, these three are unicellular organisms. That's why kingdom Protista include all unicellular eukaryotic organisms. That is the main difference between Linnaeus classification and Whittaker's classification. Due to this reason, Whittaker's classification was widely accepted by all world biologists. Understood now? Right? Okay. Next, go through. Next concept, kingdom Monera. This is just introduction and the comparison between all 5 kingdoms. Next, what is the main difference between Linnaeus classification and Whittaker's classification? Then topic continuation. Now we will discuss step by step all 5 kingdoms: Munira, Pratishta, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. There are 5 kingdoms, out of which the first kingdom is Munira. Kingdom Munira. Right subheading? Kingdom Munira. Very, very important. This topic very important for NEET objective exam, KSET exam, and even for board exams. Right? Kingdom Munira include all unicellular, unicellular and multicellular, prokaryotes. All unicellular and multicellular prokaryotes collectively grouped under a special kingdom that is called Kingdom Munira. First point. Okay, unicellular prokaryotes. Example: unicellular prokaryotes. Example: bacteria. Okay, bacteria. And multicellular prokaryotes. Example: nostoc, cyanobacteria, oscillatoria, etc. Nostoc, cyanobacteria, oscillatoria, and one more example: Anabaena. Even spelling also important, dear students. Observe spellings also. Yeah. So according to Whittaker's classification, Kingdom Munira include all unicellular, multicellular, and prokaryotes. Unicellular prokaryotes, example: bacteria. Clear? And multicellular prokaryotes, example: nostoc, cyanobacteria, oscillatoria, and Anabaena. These are the examples of multicellular organisms, right? Yeah. Now all of you take one screenshot, do it fast, then I go with the next page. Speed up, make it fast. Hey students, everyone take one screenshot. Over. Shall I go with the next page? Yeah. Next. Kingdom Munira members, general characters. Right subheading? General characters. Kingdom Munira, general characters. The first character, Munirans are particularly bacteria. Bacteria are universal microbes. Universal microbes also called ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means universal microorganism. This is just a technical term. Universal microorganisms, because they exist their life in all weather conditions. Example: they grow in snow. Hot springs, hot springs, hot springs, even lava, even at lava. Next, air coolers, and refrigerators, right? Next, on plants, on animals, and animals, even in soil, etc. See, why bacteria is called universal microbes or ubiquitous means they grow everywhere. They exist, their life in all areas like snow, ice, hot springs, high temperature. Snow means low temperature, -degree Celsius temperature. Hot springs, very high temperature. Lava, high temperature. Air coolers, low temperature. Refrigerator, low temperature. On plants, on animals, even in soil. Even just one handful of soil contains several hundreds of bacteria. You take just one handful of soil, that soil contains several hundreds of bacteria. Therefore, bacteria able to exist their life in all areas, all weather conditions, low temperature, high temperature, on plants, on animals, in soil, in water, in refrigerators, in air coolers, air conditioners, everywhere. Hence, bacteria also called universal microorganisms, also called ubiquitous. That's it, right? Next, some are useful and some are harmful bacteria. Some bacteria are useful. Okay, a useful example: preparation of curd. Next, preparation of curd, then fermentation, a preparation of idli and dosa. Okay, and some bacteria widely using in nitrogen fixation, etc. See, some bacteria are useful bacteria. What are the uses of bacteria? Means, well, lab, lab stands for lactic acid bacteria. Lactic acid bacteria widely using in preparation of curd. Okay, just take 1 cup of warm milk. Add 1 or 2 drops of butter. Then after whole night, milk turn into curd. How it is possible? Due to presence of a bacteria that is called lactic acid bacteria. That bacteria converts milk into curd. Next, preparation of idli and dosa. For this purpose also some bacteria important. So bacteria play a crucial role, an important role in preparation of idli and dosa. And some bacteria able to fix atmospheric nitrogen in soil. That is called nitrogen fixation. That's it. This and all some examples and uses of bacteria. And some are harmful bacteria. Some bacteria are harmful bacteria. They cause diseases in plants and animals. They cause diseases in both plants and animals. Clear? Such bacteria are called harmful bacteria, dangerous bacteria. Understood? Right. Now all of you take one screenshot. This and all general characters, common characters of Kingdom Monera. Okay, very easy points. Don't confuse. After completion of this class, once you go through inside book, read inside book lines. That's enough. Clear? Right. All of you take one screenshot. Do it fast. Next, I go with the next page. Speed up. Make it fast. Done. Shall I go with the next page? Right? Yeah. Next. Cell wall. Cell wall character. Cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Note down. Peptidoglycan, murin, and mucopeptide. Mucopeptide. And one more, pseudomurin. This is the cell wall character, cell wall composition in different types of bacteria. Peptidoglycan, murin, mucopeptide, and pseudomurin. Pseudo means false murin. Pseudo means false murin. Right? An example, bacteria broadly are of two kinds. Bacteria broadly are of two kinds. First one, Archaebacteria. And second one, Eubacteria. Archaebacteria, Eubacteria. In Archaebacteria, cell wall is made up of pseudomurin. Next, in Eubacteria, cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Or murin. Peptidoglycan or murin. Understood now? Yeah, that's about bacteria. So broadly, bacteria are of two kinds: Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Archae means what? First bacteria. Right here, first bacteria. U means true bacteria. True bacteria. That's it. Okay. So cell wall composition again vary from species to species, different from species to species. Peptidoglycan, murin, and mucopeptide. These three types of materials present in Eubacteria. Peptidoglycan, murin, and mucopeptide also. Mucopeptide. Clear? But in Archaebacteria, cell wall is made up of pseudomurin. Pseudo means false. I wrote here clearly. Observe. Pseudo means false murin. Cell wall composition very, very important for NEET objective exam and set exams. That's why I am explaining these points clearly. Okay, right. Now all of you take one screenshot, make it fast. Speed up. Each and every student take one screenshot. These screenshots equals to notes. Okay. Done. Shall I go with the next page? Okay, right. Next, reproduction. Next character, reproduction. till now we have discussed cell wall character. Cell wall character is completed. Next character, reproduction. It is another type of general character. Reproduction broadly are of three kinds. Broadly are of three kinds. What are three kinds? Say anybody? Asexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, vegetative reproduction, and sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place by spores. Takes place by spores. And vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation. 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 And a sexual reproduction takes place by primitive method. Primitive method. Okay, primitive method in the sense exchange of genetic material. Exchange of genetic material. Exchange of genetic material. Here genetic material in the sense DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Exchange of genetic material between two bacteria. Between two bacteria. That's it. Once repeat, reproduction broadly are of three kinds: asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, and sexual reproduction. First one, asexual reproduction. A means absent. Which is absent? Fusion of male and female gametes. Fusion of male and female gametes are absent. Such type of reproduction is termed as asexual reproduction. Example, spores. Because asexual reproduction takes place by spores. Spores equals to small, spores means a small round shaped tiny particles. Small round shaped tiny particles are called spores. Clear? Next, vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation. Fragmentation. Fragmentation means the entire filament break into small pieces. Break into small pieces. That is called fragmentation. Next, asexual reproduction also takes place by binary fission. Binary fission. Asexual reproduction also takes place by another method, that is called binary fission. Spores, by spores one method, by binary fission another method. We will discuss what is binary fission and all step by step now only. And vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction also called vegetative propagation. Example, fragment, that entire filament break into small pieces, cut into small pieces, small fragments. That is called fragmentation. Again, each and every piece or fragment develop into an individual organism, an individual bacteria, etc. Next, sexual reproduction takes place by primitive method. Primitive means initial stage, initial method. How? How means through exchange of genetic material. Suppose this is one bacteria and it is another bacteria. These two bacteria come nearby each other. These two bacteria come nearby each other. Their cell wall disappear. Cell wall means cell wall is ruptured and exchange of genetic material. Exchange of genetic material takes place between two bacteria. Suppose this is DNA. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. That is also called genetic material. Off sir. Okay. Right, guys. Sorry for delay because of network issue. 2 minutes. Okay. Right. Next to that is about reproduction. So broadly, reproduction are of three kinds: sexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, and sexual reproduction. That's all. Next, nutrition. Next subheading, nutrition. Nutrition. Nutrition broadly are of two kinds. Autotrophic nutrition, and heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Okay. Autotrophic nutrition again are of two kinds: chemoautotropic. Okay. The second one, photoautotropic. Photoautotropic. Chemoautotropic and photoautotropic. Yeah. What is nutrition? A process of collection of food into their body called nutrition. Nutrition broadly are of two kinds in Monera members: autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition. You may heard these words in previous class also, previous classes like class 9th and 10th. Autotrophic nutrition, auto means self, by self. Okay. Autotrophic nutrition again are of two kinds: chemoautotropic and photoautotropic. Chemoautotropic bacteria depend on chemicals. Right here, chemoautotropic bacteria depend on chemicals. chemicals for preparation of food. And photoautotropic bacteria, depend on sunlight. Sunlight plus chlorophyll. Sunlight plus chlorophyll. Okay, yeah. These 2 points are very, very important, dear students. Autotrophic bacteria means these types of bacteria prepare their own food by themselves without depend on others, like plants. You know very well, all plants are autotrophs. Plants prepare their own food by themselves in presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. These topics already covered in previous classes also. Okay, students. Yeah. Similarly, some bacteria also prepare their own food by themselves, like plants. Such bacteria are called autotrophic bacteria. Again, autotrophic bacteria are of 2 kinds: chemoautotropic bacteria and photoautotropic bacteria. Chemo, I written here clearly. I wrote here clearly. Check, carefully check. Chemoautotropic bacteria prepare food by depending on chemicals. They pick up all types of nutrients from chemicals, like nitrogen fertilizers, okay, DAP fertilizers, phosphorus fertilizers, and many other fertilizers. Next, photoautotropic bacteria. They depend on sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. They have their own chlorophyll pigment. Pigment means color. Green color pigment is called chlorophyll. And photoautotropic bacteria pick up energy. They pick up energy from sunlight. And by taking energy in presence of chlorophyll pigment, they prepare their own food like plants. Such bacteria are called photoautotropic bacteria. The best example right there, purple sulfur bacteria. Purple sulfur bacteria. Purple sulfur bacteria. One best example for photoautotropic bacteria. Okay, understood now? Right. Now all of you take one screenshot, do it fast, then I go with the next page. Speed up. Quick. Speed. Done. Shall I go with the next page? Yes. These are the general characteristic features of Kingdom Munira. We have discussed almost all points. Habitat completed. Reproduction, cell wall character, nutrition. This and all commonly comes under general characters. Now, classification of bacteria. Munira classification. Not bacteria. Munira classification. Munira classification. Munira can be classified into different classes. First class, Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria can be classified into 3 subclasses. Halophiles, thermoacidophiles, and methanogens. Okay, then eubacteria. Second type is eubacteria. Eubacteria again are of various kinds based on their shape. Eubacteria are of various kinds. Coccus bacteria, Coccus bacteria, Bacillus bacteria, Spirillum bacteria, and Vibrio bacteria. Vibrio. This is V.
It's 10 hours.
Yes, Vibrio bacteria. Okay, Coccus bacteria, Bacillus bacteria, Spirillum bacteria, and Vibrio bacteria. These are all singular forms. I wrote within the bracket plural form. PL means plural form. Cocci is plural form. Next, Bacilli. Bacilli is plural form. Next, Spirilla. Plural form. Vibrio, plural form. Right, guys? Vibrio, plural form. This is Vibrio. Within the bracket, I written clearly plural forms. Remember, don't confuse. Coccus, singular form. Cocci, plural form. Bacillus, singular form. Bacilli, plural form. Spirillum, singular. Spirilla, plural. Vibrium, singular. Vibrio, plural. This is Vibrio, plural. Remember, singular form and plural form. I written clearly plural forms in bacteria. That means within the bracket. This is just a classification of Monera classification. Monera can be classified into different classes: Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, and third one Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma. And the fourth one, blue-green algae. Blue-green algae. These are the four classes in Monera. First one, Archaebacteria. Just now I told in the beginning, archae means first. Archae means first. First bacteria. Archae means first bacteria. Okay. Archaebacteria again can be classified into three subclasses: halophiles, thermoacidophiles, and methanogens. Okay. Next, Eubacteria, based on their shape. Based on their shape, Eubacteria can be classified into four types: Coccus, Bacillus, Spirillum, and Vibrio. Okay. Next, third class, Mycoplasma, and fourth one, blue-green algae, shortly called BGA. BGA stands for blue-green algae. Understood? Right. Please, all of you take one screenshot. Speed up. Everybody, take one screenshot. Completed. Last 1 minute. Only 1 minute time. Okay. Now first we discuss Archaebacteria. Within 1 minute. That's it. Shall I go with the next page? Next page. Yes. Look here. Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria are of various kinds. First one is methanogens. Methanogens mostly grow in ruminant stomach. Ruminants means cow and buffalo, etc. Cow and buffalo. Okay. They have 4 chambers of digestive system. One of the chamber is rumen. One of the chamber is rumen. Ruminants means cattle. Example, cow, buffalo, ox, goat, sheep, etc. Right? Their digestive stomach has 4 chambers: rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Abomasum, out of which the biggest chamber is rumen. Rumen. The rumen contain methanogen bacteria. Methanogen bacteria. Methanogen bacteria. Okay. This bacteria produce biogas. Okay. But in ruminants, what is the use of methanogen bacteria? Methanogen bacteria release an enzyme that is called cellulase. Cellulase enzyme. Cellulase enzyme. Cellulase enzyme digest cellulose. Already all cattle like cow, buffalo, sheep, goat, this and all cattle. Cattle main food is plant parts. Plant parts are made up of cellulose. But how cellulose digest in their stomach means due to presence of an enzyme that is called cellulase enzyme. And who secretes cellulase enzyme? A bacteria, namely methanogen bacteria. That is the use of methanogen bacteria in ruminants. Next, on the other hand, methanogen bacteria also produce biogas. It produces biogas. Biogas also called gobar gas. Gobar gas. Okay. Gobar gas is made up of methane, CH4, methane, CO2, carbon dioxide, H2S, hydrogen sulfide, N2, nitrogen, and O2, little bit oxygen also. So look here, methanogen bacteria also produce biogas. Biogas otherwise called gobar gas. Gobar gas is a mixture of gases. What do you call? Mixture of several gases like CH4, methane. CH4 means methane. Methane. Okay. Next, carbon dioxide, H2S, hydrogen sulfide, N2, nitrogen, O2, oxygen. That's all. These are the several gases present in biogas. Right? Today I stop here. Rest of the part I will continue next class. Hey students, now all of you take one screenshot and make it fast. Speed up, make it fast. Make it fast. Thank you very much. All of you take one screenshot. Done. Thank you very much. See you and prepare well. Stop share. Plaza. క్లాస్ కంప్లీట్ అయింది సార్. ఓకే. శ్రీకాంత్ సార్. శ్రీకాంత్.